Well, you may not be able to see this, but I've got my armor on because I know a lot of you who've clicked on the thumbnail have got your daggers out as well. But well, daggers or not, this is the end. The end of a 6-month long, extremely special and personally rewarding journey called India's Top 25, where I wanted to talk about 25 such moments, events, phases from Indian cricket from 1932 to 2024 that changed the trajectory of the game in our country, that rewrote the destiny of cricket for 1 billion and more people. And at the top of the pile, since the birth of the Indian Premier League, a phenomenon so significant that it probably deserves its own 25-episode series. I know it might take some convincing on my part for this, and so I'm ready. Let's begin then, one last time, on India's Top 25. As a sport, cricket in its makeup is entirely different from other sports. Not only in the way it's played and the time it takes to finish a game, but also in the way it's been marketed. And so many saw the success of city-based franchise leagues across the world and wondered how that could be brought to cricket. And many, seeing the complexity of what they were trying to achieve, a sport which had thrived as a nation versus nation contest in its long history, gave up. But one man held on to the dream for more than a decade, and it paid dividends not only for him, not only for Indian cricket, but for the entire sport. You must have guessed by now who we are talking about. Lalit Modi dreamt of a city-based franchise league for cricket in the mid-90s. But the 50-over format, with its 8-hour-long games, didn't seem ideal enough for that dream. In another part of the world, Stuart Robertson was devising a method to cure English cricket's big problem, the disappearing crowds from the cricket games. His solution? A shortened format of just 20 overs a side not only proved a success in England upon its launch in 2003, but very interestingly gave Lalit Modi his missing piece of the puzzle. A shortened format of cricket was more amenable to his dream of a city-based franchise league. And his long strides in the corridors of power in the decade since he first came up with the plan meant that in the mid-2000s, he was in the right place at the right time with the right plan for that dream. A grand idea was sold to some of the richest and most powerful names of the country, and seeing the country's craze for the game, it didn't take them long to board this train. And that's how the IPL hit our TV screens at prime time for the first time in 2008, just 6 months after the inaugural World T20, which, by the way, took the cricketing world by storm. Its final, an India-Pakistan contest, won by India by the barest of margins to give India only their second ICC trophy, gave the new T20 league all the legitimacy it needed. Add to that the glitz and glamour that movie stars brought, well, IPL was a guaranteed success. And the anticipation in the air for its latest season tells us everything that we need to know about the success of this league. For what it's worth, it's had its own ups and downs, and at times has been as much the subject of public discontent as it has been of public adulation. Still, there is no brand bigger than this in the cricketing landscape across the world. That's the IPL, something that didn't exist a couple of decades ago. We've talked about several big bangs in Indian cricket, several chapters and personalities who took the game far and wide. And while all of them contributed in some way or the other to bring Indian cricket to the point where it is today, the impact of the Indian Premier League outweighs them by a mile. It changed how aspiring cricketers looked at the game. The generation before the IPL strove hard to earn a national call-up, for the difference between the national setup and the domestic setup was massive. The IPL's arrival altered ambitions. For many now, even if a national call-up doesn't happen, an IPL contract isn't too bad either. Essentially, the IPL and its riches have opened up the game for so many who earlier probably wouldn't have pursued the game, knowing that to make a career in cricket in India would require you to be among the best 11 in a crowd of about 1 billion who might play the game. Now they can be the 99th best cricketer in the country and still get a chance to play with the best in the world and be on national TV for a good couple of months. So the IPL has democratized the game in the most organic of ways. It has lifted families. People from the remotest corners of the country can now come and play. And those who do manage to prove their mettle against the best now have an entirely different pathway to the highest level than before. Besides, the scouts are always on the lookout for talent. So if you have any sort of talent for the format, it's very unlikely it'll go unspotted. From Jasprit Bumrah to Hardik Pandya to Varun Chakravarti, so many cricketers have risen through the ranks after having first caught the attention in the IPL. So the supply chain to Indian cricket looks stronger than ever, as far as white ball cricket is concerned at least. Now that was about those who play the game. The number that consumes the game in this country has exploded in the last 17 years. The integration of entertainment and a much shorter format meant that an entirely new section of the population has developed an interest in the game, even if peripheral. It's a result of that a humongous IPL industry has come into being. Remember the broadcast rights of the IPL, which was sold in 2008, about 3,000 crores or thereabouts, 3,600 maybe, invited an eye-popping 56,000 crores in 2022. And this kind of money has completely shifted the scales of power in the cricketing world. Some decades ago, the star players of some countries refused to travel to India. They were paid a hardship allowance. Today, it's a place where every cricketer, young and old, wants to be. It has made India the center of world cricket. That is what the IPL has done. The most aspirational cricket tournament in the world. That is why, in my opinion, the IPL is the biggest bang that Indian cricket has seen since 1932. That's completely changed the way the game is played, the way the game is marketed, and as a result, has changed the way the game is consumed in the country and to a huge extent, even in the world as well. The IPL is number one on this list. So thanks for watching and do subscribe to this channel.